So it kept saying that it didn't want to go out, it wanted to possess my body, and that I should go out from my own body, you know, and just give up and like pass my body to the spirit. It was like just a black figure, and the voice was like all distorted. My name is Emily, and I was possessed by a spirit.
Can you tell me when and where were you when you were possessed by the spirit? 9
years ago, when I was still studying in college, I followed my roommate to her foster family's house, which is in a kampong area. You have to walk around 2 hours. The last night of when we were staying there, they were planning to have a big feast in the living room. They have the Chinese praying altar there. It was around 5 or 6 p.m. as well, like that. There were a lot of us and the house was quite small. So I was standing right in front of the altar. I think I accidentally stepped under the table of the altar, and I felt something weird. In college, I started to vomit. Usually during the Malay prayer time, yeah, I would get really tired. It continued for quite some time. That thing actually haven't possessed me yet. It just followed me for the time being, for it to understand how I go through my everyday life, like study like that. The place where I study usually is very haunted because it used to be a war camp. I began to feel things that I never have felt before. So I told my sister about it. I feel something weird is going on, but I don't know what. At that time, my sister also told me that my mom was experiencing the same thing as well at home. Someone was jealous of my parents and they put something in the house. So they planned to have a house blessing, and they invited us to go there as well. During blessing, they use holy water, right? I think the one that followed me also got triggered. So I went back to my old room. I sat on my bed. That was the first time that I felt the spirit that followed me there. The thing appeared and started possessing me. I did hear my dad calling me, but I couldn't respond. He saw me starting to breathing heavily. There were 3 priests in the house. He called the 3 of them to check on me, and that was when I started to kick people, kick them and hit them because I don't want them to touch me, right? So they knew something was wrong. They were doing the exorcism on me. It didn't work for quite some time. I was trying to escape, and they would keep pinning me down to the floor. It was physically painful. Yes, I can feel that as well. There were a lot of insults coming out of my mouth. And at one point, I looked at one of the 3 church members. I mentioned one name. I didn't know whose name it was. I didn't know what the connection of the name to that person. But when I said it, his face was pale all over. That thing could look into his secrets, And that's when he started to say, "Oh, she's lying. She's being dramatic. She just wanted attention."
What was it that you said to them that scared them a lot out?
I wasn't so much knew what exactly happened, but I knew there was something that this person is hiding. The spirit mentioned one female name. Most likely, the person that he's cheating with on his spouse could scare him enough that he didn't want to help me, which is exactly what the spirit wanted. They stopped trying to help me because they were afraid themselves. So that's when they started abandoning me in the house. They told my parents that I was pretending, and I was actually already in so much pain. My parents actually believed them. I'm not sure why my parents believed them at the time. Maybe because they're already stressed with their own relationships, right? Us as siblings don't have a good relationship with them as well. It's kind of hard to see them just abandon their daughter like that. So my sister, she was the one who said I needed to be taken to another church Cannot do this here because the 3 of them already left. My brother-in-law drove me, my sister and my dad to the church. Although my dad didn't believe, but we needed help to carry me. When I was carried, I was very heavy. It was around midnight already. They opened the little chapel besides the church. 2 priests were there. One of them called the 3 church members. So the 3 church members told them that I was only pretending. If I keep pretending like this, they would like suggest these 2 priests to take me straight to the mental hospital instead of treating me. So sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. You can take your time. Yeah, it's okay.
So you know that's quite hurtful. Like I was literally on the altar there, feeling like my whole body was burning. I started to scream, and you know, all the hysteria thing. But luckily, this one, the only one out of the 5, really believed what happened to me, and he said, "Let's try and help her first." He just did the exorcism. Luckily, it worked. Long story short, he did know what possessed me, and so he managed to like ask the spirit to come out of me.
May I ask, like, what was the exorcism process like? Like, what did he do?
So during the exorcism, what happened was like whenever it get tired of being attacked and like being prayed over, right, it would like pass out. The time when I passed out was actually when my spirit get to communicate with that evil spirit. So it kept saying that it didn't want to go out, it wanted to possess my body, and that I should go out from my own body, you know, and just give up and like pass my body to the spirit. It was like just a black figure, and the voice was like all distorted. The priest was asking it to give up, and it got weaker. That's when I began to be able to see it more clearly who the spirit was actually. It was actually the spirit of a little girl. She was a lost spirit, a stillborn, or she was like an unwanted baby looking for a place in the world. I myself am trying to find my place in this world because I don't have the best of relationships with my parents. Kind of like the spirit saw that in me and like tried to fill the hole.
How did you feel after that? Yeah, when she left your body? Basically,
I felt normal, but there were side effects. I could see things that are around me. So going back to the college, which was like super haunted, was not the best place to go. I was able to sense emotions as well, but I tried to ignore it. It was quite hard, but as time goes by, my sense is getting weaker, and now I couldn't sense anything anymore.
So, if you don't mind, like after the whole incident happened, did your parents hear about it? Like, what did they think about it?
We didn't really communicate after that for quite some time. To be honest, up until today, I still don't know if my mom believes it or not, because we never talk about it anymore. I wanted to find that closure, but I know that how my parents are, and they wouldn't be comfortable with it. They wouldn't want to talk about it. What I'm working on, even until 8-9 years, I still couldn't bring myself to like really forgive the 3% who told my parents that I was pretending. Disappointed me. I could have died. I could have been sent to the mental hospital. I wouldn't be able to have this life that I have now. I wouldn't even graduated. Whenever I imagine myself sitting on a chair, facing the 3 of them, like, can I bring myself to say I forgive you?
Did you experience possession again after that, at that time, over the years, up until now?
Yeah, actually twice. It was different situation. The one with my best friend was something that was living in his house, and the other one was because I live in a village area as well in my previous workplace, so there was like a funeral for one of the residents who passed away, and when they do all this funeral, quite traditionally, rituals, so all the spirits that are not connected and all came out. One of the spirits found me, you can say like that. I wasn't really fully healed from the first one, so I still can sense things at that point, so that's why it happened again.
May I ask, like, in your own opinion, what do you think is the reason that, you know, you keep getting possessed and you have this ability?
My late grandfather actually practiced witchcraft in his kampong, And he practiced it on himself as well, you know, like the suso, the ilmu kebal thing he did. Because he passed away suddenly, right? So it lingered within the family for quite some time. So I think maybe that's where I get quite sensitive in this kind of things. My mom cut ties with quite a lot of people at the time. I don't have anybody that I know on that side to help me, you know, do my research and things like that.
You know, I really empathize with you, especially when, you know, that your parents didn't believe you. I think that's that's a very painful experience.
Yeah, out of all the three, there was like, that is the one fact that really was the most hurtful one. Huh?
They came out from this experience, right? I don't think it's even the possession. I think that is what was really the most hurtful that happened. What kind of steps did you take to, you know, get over it? Do you do anything differently?
It actually stemmed from, you know, emotional issues. The priest just advised me to, like, you know, don't focus on the negative, just because I was young and rather emotional, right? So maybe I need to go through my process of self-growth a little bit faster than the others, start to learn how to be more rational. I would need to find a place to express myself so that these emotions doesn't bottle in myself. I think I already found stability in my life. I have a positive work environment, I have positive social circle, so that really helped a lot. I think it has been 3-4 years that I didn't have any experience anymore.
What would you say to those who are skeptical about possessions and, you know, about spirits or ghosts like that?
If you know somebody who was possessed, don't say you don't believe them. Don't say it to their face. And you don't know what the person gone through, right? Nobody wants to get pinned down on the floor just for attention. Nobody wants to have bruises all over their body just for attention. And it could be quite terrifying for them. It could be like lifetime trauma. If that person decided to believe this kind of thing, then it's up to them. You don't need to force them to take your opinion.
Long story short, I think what hit me the most in Emily's story is that even her own parents don't believe her when she needed them the most. I empathize a lot and I hope things will get better for her and her family. If you have any family members or friends who are in the same situation, please reach out and give them support. I would like to thank Emily for sharing her story with me. If you guys have any personal stories that you would like to share, please let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to us over here and follow our Instagram account at Says Videos over here. Look out for my next episode of Long Story Short. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!